My name is Zulfah Adeola Jubril, and I'm the anchor of An-Nisa. An-Nisa, which means woman in Arabic. On today's program, we are having our beautiful sister, Dr. Fateemah Gaji, who is a graduate of MBBS, and our mother studied Islamic Studies for a BSc and also for a Master's. So, on today's program, we'll be talking on Hijab and its controversies. So, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, Dr. Fateemah Gaji. Thanks for coming here.
Alaikum salam warahmatullah, Sister Zulfah. Thank you so much for the warm reception. I am very happy and honored to be on An-Nisa. Also, as the first guest to be on An-Nisa, this is such an honor.
Thank you.
And as you know, but not the audience, I am Fateemah. I'm a graduate of medicine and also an enthusiast for women's rights and women empowerment. And I'm here to discuss the issues and topics that at hand. And I would like to say that, I would discuss them to the best of my ability, I think.
Inshallah. Thank you so much, Dr. Fateemah Gaji. So, I've heard a lot about, as Muslim women, we've been told a lot about hijab, and so many women don't even know why they use hijab. So now I'd love you to explain what hijab truly means to everyone.
Okay, first, like I said earlier, I would like to answer these questions to the best of my knowledge and my ability.
Inshallah.
I do not know it all, and I'm very open to corrections from you, from the audience, from everyone who is listening to this. And Allahu Alam. First, I want to say that this is a very broad topic, and there's no way we can fit all of this into 30 minutes. But I'll try my best to highlight, I feel like, key points, very important topics, very important key points about hijab. So first, what is hijab? I think we all know what hijab is. Literally, you know what hijab is. Hijab is just literally the covering every Muslim woman uses. But we know that hijab is not just limited to the head. Hijab is limited to the body. Hijab is limited to hijab covers the head, the body, and also the mind of every Muslim woman. This is cliche, but there's no other way to put it. Hijab is beautiful. It's an identity for Muslim women, because if you're in a crowd of say 100 people, 100 people, and you see a lady donned in a hijab, before she speaks, before she even introduces herself, you already know she's a Muslim woman.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
So I would like to say after this, I'd like to say that with hijab, as other Muslim topics, hijab is a very controversial topic within the Islamic community and even outside of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Hijab is very controversial. You have people with unsolicited opinions that I say unsolicited because with hijab, it's farq already. It's a law that has already been set by Allah, and Allah has already completed His religion. He's completed His religion, and whatever comes after that is unsolicited. Whatever opinion about hijab that comes after that, whatever rule or law that anyone is trying to set with hijab is honestly unsolicited. Hijab is fair. It's an order. It's a rule that has already been set by Allah and His Messenger. So I feel like honestly, whoever has any opinions, whether good or bad, regarding hijab that's not in the Quran or in the Hadith, then it's unsolicited, it's uncalled for, and there will be no need for it. First.
So, Dr. Fateemah Gaji, so I've learned a lot about this thing about hijab and its punishments and some rulings. Can you tell us more about people who don't wear hijab? Okay, they call themselves Muslim. I'm Fateemah, I'm Zulfah, I'm Zuleika, but they don't put on hijab. So what is the punishment with not putting on hijab? Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, I think I can talk about that. So hijab, like there's no way to talk about this topic without always mentioning and reminding people that it's fard. Fard means it's a must, it's obligatory, it's a law that has already been set. So like I said earlier, there are controversies within the Islamic community and outside of it around hijab. One major controversy, or do I say one major issue of hijab within the Muslim community is how people try to sugarcoat it and say that it's a choice. Hijab is not a choice. I strongly disagree with such an opinion or such saying, because Islam, like every other institution, has rules, it has regulation, it has laws that you submit to. It literally means submission. Islam literally means submission, yeah? So you're submitting to the total will of Allah, and every single thing that comes with it.
So what is the punishment?
Exactly.
If we don't put on hijab, what is the punishment? Like, we got punished off us for that?
I'm coming to that. That's why I'm trying to set it clear before I actually go, so it will make sense, right? So with every other, like I said, with every other institution, you have rules, regulations, laws you have to follow. Every other religions, and whatever recently in this world, whatever you sign up for, you have to
follow exams and regulations.
You have to follow, and then when you do not follow the said rules, the said regulations, I mean, there's a penalty for it.
Yes.
There are consequences of it. But in Islam, hijab is the one obligatory act of worship that I know that does not have a punishment for it. It does not have an expiation for it, like other obligatory acts of worship. I'll give you an example where during fasting in the month of Ramadan, and you intentionally break the fast, whatever or however means you have, an expiation, you have to the expiation for it is like fasting for 2 months consecutive.
Yes.
With something like, say, zina, fornication, you have to, if it's fornication, then you have to be flogged. But if it's adultery, then you have to be stoned. You know, things like that. But hijab, like I said, is the one obligatory act of worship that Allah has set as a law that you have to follow it. That I do not know, to the best of my knowledge, it really does not have any punishment
if we don't
or any expiation. That's why I feel like there's certain countries or certain places where the punishment for not wearing the hijab, Muslim women are getting killed, Muslim women are being violated, they've been arrested for simply not wearing the hijab.
Yeah.
And I have one thing to say. I mean, if Allah Himself, the owner of the religion, the maker of the world, the master of the day of judgment, has not even set for His own self any punishment for His servants, the people that do not observe the hijab, then who are you, a mere mortal, you know, killing humans, killing women for simply not wearing hijab? Wouldn't it be better if Muslim women are being encouraged and are being reminded about wearing the hijab, rather than being judged, rather than being punished, rather than being violated? I mean, it makes no sense. It makes no sense to me. I don't know if it makes any sense to you or to the audience.
No,
it absolutely it makes no sense
to
me.
So, Dr. Fateemah Gaji, you mean there is no place in the Holy Quran that says when a Muslim woman do not put on the hijab, there is no punishment?
Honestly, to the best of my knowledge, whether in the Quran or in the Hadith, there are no punishments for not observing the hijab. And I also want to would like to speak on a very important issue where I feel like most judges of people not wearing the hijab, or do I say most people who carry out punishments, who make rules about Muslim women being punished for not wearing the hijab, are Muslim men. And it's very baffling because, and I think to an extent very hypocritical, that in Surah An-Nur verse 30, you have where Allah says, tell the believing men to lower their gaze. That verse comes immediately before the verse of the hijab, where Allah says to tell the believing women that, you know, they should observe the hijab.
Yeah.
So I'm trying, if anybody is trying to, you know, trying to make sure what I have said is correct, you can check Surah An-Nur verse 30 and 31. So I feel like if you are, especially men, I'm talking to men right now, if you're judging, violating, killing, punishing, arresting women for not wearing the hijab out of, you know, playing God towards Muslim women for not wearing the hijab, then is it not hypocritical that you are not even adhering to a law of Allah that says lower your gaze,
yes,
which is a verse that comes before actually the verse of the hijab, where it says tell believing women to observe the hijab.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fateemah Gaji. And I would love to ask you the last question, and this is regarding the hijab and steps in wearing hijab. Like, I feel like some people say it's good to wear himar, some people say it's good to wear niqab, some people say it's good to wear just ordinary scarf, which we call tarha, and a lot. Can you please tell us the stages of putting on hijab and what it represents as a whole?
There are no stages, there are no levels to wearing the hijab. Hijab simply means a covering. So as a covering, I feel like with hijab you have to associate it with the aura of a woman, right?
Yeah, that's
so.
True. What do you mean by aura for people who do not understand?
So aura literally means it literally means, you know, the parts of a woman that should be covered, mm-hmm, and should not be for public viewing, right? Okay. So with hijab, as long as in the verse of the Quran, like I seek Allah's forgiveness because I do not want to say something that is completely out of the Quran, mm-hmm, but it is along the line where it says tell them to draw their hijab over their heads and across their bosoms. So we all know that Quran goes beyond its literal translation.
No.
That's why we have tafsirs, we have scholars that have to break down certain verses of the Quran.
Yeah.
And we have scholars that agree that with hijab you have to put it for the aura of a woman. The aura of a woman consists of every single part of her body, outside of her face.
What do you mean by every single part of her body?
All parts of her body, apart from her face, her hands, and some people say the feet. Some scholars agree that the feet is part of the aura of a woman, while others believe that it's not part of the aura and it can be covered or it cannot be covered. But I'd like to remind everyone that it says that the Prophet says the disagreement between scholars is a mercy for us believers.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Thank you so much for today's enlightenment on hijab. Thank you so much, Dr. Fateemah Gaji, and we would love to bring you here some other time for some more topics, inshallah. And we are really, really grateful to the audience. If you have questions, you can drop it in. If you have anything, just anything, feel free to drop the questions, and make sure you watch An-Nisa every 2 weeks. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.